Yeah, I'm not.
As a solution to spray on the plants.
Hi, I'm Holly McRoberts, and we just saw a very festive and fun seed swap, which is an annual event. Seeds are magical. Packed into tiny, unassuming little packages is all that is needed to start a whole new life. And yet they are each special and unique. Well, here to talk to me about our seeds, our seed community, and seed libraries is Britta Sauer, who is the branch manager for the Wantabo Library. Welcome, Britta.
Hi, Colleen. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming and telling us about this really important work. So, a seed library is something that's very unique and different. What got you started on this path?
Well, I've been a lifelong gardener, and it's one of my passions. I took inspiration from the Pima County Library. They had started a seed library. So I sort of was eyeing, eyeing their projects, and I was always sort of hoping that I could do something like that, which would bring my own passions of a library and gardening together. And then the forces, the stars aligned, and an opportunity arose where we could start this project. So we're about to start our third year of being in existence. So.
Wonderful. Well, I love that you were able to bridge your two passions together and bring this here to the Albuquerque library system. So a seed library, what does that entail?
Well, at the seed library, we're based out of the Wantabo branch, and how our project works is that somebody can check out up to 15 packets of seed per season on their library card. It's very easy to get a library card in Albuquerque, so everyone should do it. And there's no obligation when you check out the seeds. We're not going to try to get those seeds back. But what we do encourage people to do is to think about seed saving, learn how to do it responsibly, and maybe try it out themselves and bring back the second generation to us so that we can build our collection so that it's made up of seeds that have grown up in Albuquerque as opposed to other parts of the country. So
plus, it's very cost effective, I would imagine, for people who, I know I spend a lot of money on seeds every year for my garden. This is enticing for me because not only am I a part of the seed community, but I'm also able to save some money, which is really important.
Absolutely. We're there, as a resource, so that people can have those seeds. We're checking out a cultural resource, just like a book. But it's also a way to sort of experiment with new things without that sort of laying out the money for it. You can see what we have here and maybe try something new. We try to get a lot of seeds. We do have a small budget, so we try to get seeds from Native Seed Search is one company, and they have collected seeds from around New Mexico, specifically in the Pueblos. So we have a lot of seeds that you're not going to find in most catalogs. So it's a neat way to get in touch with the agricultural history of New Mexico as well.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I know you brought some demonstrations of some seeds, and some seeds are very easy to propagate and save, while others I know can be very complicated actually. How do you inform people on how to go about growing and then saving seeds?
Right, that's a great question. We have put out a brochure. It's available on our website, which is abqlibrary.org/seeds. And it sort of talks you through some of the basic concepts of seed saving. So we talk about in detail about cross-pollination and how to avoid that, and we identify some of the easier seeds to start with. We also offer a series of workshops each year, and one of those workshops is always sort of an introduction to seed saving, where we spend a little more time with some of the concepts that we talk about. I think one of the big things when you're thinking about seed saving is sort of taking some time to plan out your garden, both in terms of space, but also in terms of time and when things are going to be blooming and going to seed. So those are some of the things we stress. So beans are a great one to start with, and tomatoes are good as well. Peppers, a lot of the herbs and flowers are pretty easy. I brought a couple examples of
could
seeds.
you talk about some of these and how you would go about saving some of these seeds in particular?
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite seeds. It is it's safflower, also known as Corallus azafran. And this is an easy one to save.
Very pretty.
Yeah, I guess it was
Colors.
used in this country, the stamens, as a replacement for saffron. I haven't tried it, but so it's sort of a double.
Which is an expensive
Yeah,
thing
so
to
it's
buy,
a double
yeah.
dipper. You can actually, use the filaments for your cooking, but also you can harvest the seeds from that. So this flour, you're just sort of breaking it apart and cleaning out the seeds and finding them in the flour, and that flour has about 5 or 6 seeds in them. Sunflowers are a pretty easy one to save. You do want to think about cross-pollination just because there's so many wild sunflowers, thankfully, in New Mexico. But if you're thinking about saving perhaps the seeds from a sunflower, once they've stopped blooming, you might want to throw a bag on it and tie it up so that no other creatures start to sample your sunflower. So that's an easy way to preserve the seeds.
I grow sunflowers in my garden every year, and I think that, I don't mind, but the birds get to the majority of it.
Which is great. I mean, it's great to provide forage for all those other creatures out there, but for seed saving, you might want to set aside some for yourself.
One of the questions I wanted to know is, watching the seed swap footage and knowing that you're doing the seed library, you talked about cross-pollination. So how do you ensure the quality of seed that you guys are trying to provide to the public?
Well, this whole thing is an interesting project because it just involves a lot of communication and educating people and just talking about your seeds and sort of knowing what you get. So whenever people donate seeds to the library, I do ask them to fill out, we have a donation form where we try to gauge, sort of how much of an understanding people have of seed saving. We also want people to share their story about seeds as well. We'd love to sort of get the cultural history that comes with a lot of the seeds.
That's great.
So those are some of the ways we try to find it out. But it is a community project, so the forces of the community sort of come into play.
Well, I love that agriculture has always brought community together historically, and in this modern forum, you have found a way to have community engaged and really kind of foster that communication. I think that is so important. I know through kind of the local food movement and backyard farming, I've met some amazing people in our community. It's a really neat place to plug in for sure.
Yeah.
And not only for the fresh veggies, for the healthy appetite, getting your hands dirty, learning from each other, but the people that are just wonderful.
Yeah.
So how can people find out more information?
Well, we do have our website, which is abqlibrary.org/seeds. That's a good place to start. We put all of our events. We periodically have community seed packing nights, which is a way for people to help us out with packing the seeds. But that's a great place to go. We also put out brochures, so if you ever see us around, we have a brochure which outlines some of the events that are going on with our library as well. Those are 2 great places, and also come visit us at the Wantabo branch of the library.
I noticed you also have a couple of books, and I saw on your website that you offer a lot of really great resources. Of course, I would expect that at a library.
Yeah. So we do have a couple books. Seed to Seed by Suzanne Ashworth, Complete Guide to Saving Seeds. We keep reference copies, but we also circulate these throughout the library system. So you can put those on hold and pick them up at whichever branch is convenient for you. We also have a new book, The Saving Seeds in the Southwest, which we'll be adding shortly. It's brand new, so we're pretty excited because it's so specific to our climate.
Great. Well, I love the Seed to Seed book. It really shows kind of the beauty of seeds. They're so pretty. And I've worked with students in the past shucking beans or, processing seeds, and it's fun to see their excitement too. This is a great activity really for the whole family.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I encourage everyone to participate in some way, either planting from seed or helping us pack the seed, because as you said, they're such beautiful little entities, and so when you can actually touch and look at them, it's a pretty transformative experience.
Well, and a nice way to give back since we're getting the seeds for free.
Right.
This is a way to kind of help with this whole project, so
Yeah,
I really like
absolutely.
that. And even just the diversity of seeds that you've brought here on the table today, from the cotton to the sunflower to the saffron, I'm just really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
Nature is incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty neat to see all the different ways that a plant reproduces.
It is.
It's pretty stunning.
Yeah,
so.
and they all have a fabulous history and a story.
Yep.
So I just love that. Well, thank you for this very enlightening and very interesting conversation. It's been so enjoyable learning about this. And I hope that people who are watching this show will really take advantage of this opportunity that you guys are providing, that they'll go visit the Wantabo Library, they'll take a class, they'll visit your very in-depth website. I checked it out myself and it's fabulous.
Thank you.
And most importantly, just be a part of this community and seed sovereignty in our future. It's a really
Absolutely.
important project.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for watching GOV-16 with Colleen McRoberts and Britta Sauer.